Chapter 134, Death Grave Valley. Foothill God City, the palace where Huangfu Chaoj was located. Gu Hai chatted with Huangfu Chaoj, who was soaking in ice water, about the frontline battlefield. However, when he heard that Gu Hai had brought Long Guanyu to the life formation, Huangfu Chaoj abruptly became excited. "You've met Mr. Dongfang. What did he say? Is Long Xiaoyu's heavenly soul and earthly soul still there? She can still be resurrected." Huangfu Chaoj's agitated body stood up and said. Gu Hai was slightly silent for a while. Huangfu Chaoj seemed to have guessed the outcome, but his eyes were still filled with anticipation, hoping that Gu Hai would say an unexpected result. Unfortunately, that was the case. Gu Hai did not hide it and told the situation one by one. Pfft. Huangfu Chaoj dejectedly sat down in the ice water once again. Hair, form and soul extinguished. Xiaoyu's soul was destroyed. King Lu Yong. Huangfu Chaoj gritted his teeth, his eyes already wet. When Gu Hai said anything else, Huangfu Chaoj seemed like he could no longer hear it. Gu Hai stopped talking, because Gu Hai understood that Huangfu Chaoj needed a process of digestion. Huangfu Chaoj's eyes were getting redder and wetter. "Mr. Gu, I want to be alone." Huangfu Chaoj's voice trembled and said. "Good." Gu Hai nodded. He slowly stepped out of the palace. Kwong. The door of the great palace closed and rose with a loud bang. "Ah, Xiaoyu, tilde. In the great hall that closed, the hissing voice of Huangfu Chaoj's sadness and despair was heard. Outside, a group of divine foothills, Imperial Dynasty officials, were beating the fire locust god, trying to force a solution to the drought demon's poison, but they had been unable to force it out. "Let me do it." Gu Hai stepped forward. "Mr. Gu." The crowd of officials were extremely respectful and stepped aside. "Gu Chen, come here," Gu Hai called out. "Master." Gu Chen looked at Gu Hai in confusion. "Sing to the fire locust god, torture it, and force me to find out how to detoxify Huangfu Chaoj," Gu Hai commanded. Gu Chen's face instantly turned ugly. "Master, that's not torture. It's enjoyment. Go." Gu Hai kicked its ass. Fine. With unhappiness, Gu Chen went to sing to the fire locust god. "Right, set up a sound barrier for everyone. Only you and the fire locust god can hear it," Gu Hai commanded. Unhappy, Gu Chen nodded in a depressed manner. The crowd of divine foothills, Imperial Dynasty officials were unsure. However, since Mergu commanded, they naturally all trusted it. The fire locust god was locked up by a large number of chains, and his entire body's dantian was sealed, so he was incapable of even committing suicide. The previous group of divine foothills, Imperial Dynasty officials whipped him, and he still stiffly survived. "HMPH, the Emperor will come to avenge me. Want me to say anything? Dream on," the fire locust god coldly said. "Don't say I don't know. Even if I knew, I wouldn't say anything. Humph, have the ability to kill me." "Ha ha 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 ha," the fire locust god said with a scowl on his face. "Aren't you tough? I'll see how long you last," Gu Hai coldly said. "HMPH, the fire locust god let out a cold snort. Gu Chen walked closer, probed his hand to give everyone a sound barrier, and began to sing to the fire locust god. Singing, many officials were unsure, but some of them steeply changed their faces. After all, the officials who had experienced the battle of the Jiangjin sect in the past knew how Gu Chen sang, about crumbling saber-toothed tigers. The fire locust god disdainfully looked at Gu Chen, revealing a cold smile. However, but the moment Gu Chen opened his mouth, the face of the fire locust god's sneer was suddenly stiff, and instantly his whole body was jolted, and his hairs all stood up. "What's wrong?" This expression on the fire locust god's face, a group of officials said blankly. Those officials who know, at this moment is not good to speak. "Now Hawk Chen help you to save the Emperor. Do you tell your colleagues in front of him?" Hu Chen singing difficult to hear. Isn't this hitting Gu Chen in the face? Can only hold back. Gradually, Gu Chen entered the state. The fire locust god was about to collapse as he listened. Stop singing. Stop singing. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Okay. The fire locust god instantly shouted in despair. But Gu Chen had set up a sound barrier. People outside couldn't hear it at all. Only Gu Chen could hear it. Of course not. This song is not finished. I have prepared 20 songs. Keep listening. Gu Chen refused with unhappiness. What? There are 20 more songs. A look of horror appeared in the eyes of the fire locust god. The fire locust god looked at Gu Chen in despair. But how could Gu Chen release you if the song wasn't finished? The song continued, and the fire locust god's eyes revealed a look of great horror. Turning his head, he looked at the officials outside the sound barrier with a begging face. Look, 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 that expression on the fire locust god's face. He's scared. Really scared. Gu Chen is really powerful. There should be no problem. The crowd of officials outside were excitedly pointing. The fire locust god screamed in despair. I'll say everything. Quickly, don't let him sing. Don't let him sing. The officials outside laughed excitedly and couldn't hear the voice of the fire locust god at all. On the 5th song, Vomit, the fire locust god vomited, and the entire locust was deflated. As a professional singer, Gu Chen naturally wouldn't be affected by the fire locust god, and continued to sing. At the 9th song, the fire locust god's pupils had lost focus. White foam was streaking from his mouth. All right, Gu Chen, stop. Gu Hai was a bit unable to watch. The outside of the sound barrier couldn't hear the inside, but the inside could hear the outside. Master, he hasn't finished listening yet, Gu Chen said with some fondness. Earlier, he was unhappy, but once a few songs were sung, his mood instantly improved. And at this moment, if he wanted Gu Chen to stop singing, he really couldn't give up. Gu Hai. Under Gu Hai's repeated requests, Gu Chen finally stopped. As soon as the song stopped, the fire locust god had a jolt and was much better. The sound barrier was withdrawn. Fire locust god, are you willing to speak now? Gu Hai said indifferently. Speak, speak. Whatever you guys ask, I'll speak, the fire locust god said in horror. The group of officials were speechless for a good while. This fire locust god eats softness, but not hardness. We fought for half a day, and he didn't say anything. Gu Chen went to sing 2 songs and he said it. The drought demon poison on Huang Fu Chouj. How can we cure it? Gu Hai said in a deep voice. I don't know. The fire locust god shook his head. Gu Chen, Gu Hai called out. Don't, I'll say. It's my great brilliant imperial dynasty. There's a death grave valley. And in that death grave valley, a trace of drought demon fire poison overflows every 100 years. I only collected that one by chance. I don't know about the rest. The fire locust god said in horror. Oh, death grave valley. What's inside? Gu Hai said in a deep voice. I don't know. HMM, Gu Hai said in a cold voice. I really don't know, Death Grave Valley. As long as you enter, you're all dead. The outside is shrouded in blackness. We can't see anything. The Emperor used the Earth Dragon Vein to test it back then. Even the Earth Dragon Vein. Touching it, it was surely injurious. We don't dare to go in. I really don't know. Fire Locust God said in horror. You dictate. You guys are responsible for recording the map, Gu Hai commanded. Yes, the group of officials answered. It didn't take long before the map of the Death Grave Valley was displayed in front of Gu Hai. Gu, Mergu, what about the Emperor's poison? An official worriedly said. Work on it. Gu Hai grasped the map and sighed slightly. Next, some officials once again questioned the Fire Locust God for a while and learnt countless things. Only when everything was asked clearly did Gu Hai look at the Fire Locust God. Fire Locust God, I'm giving you a chance to live. Gu Hai said in a deep voice. "Oh, you won't kill me." The fire locust god was surprised. "I cannot kill you, but I need the fire god. If you offer the fire god to me to refine your heart orifices and cooperate with me in refining it, I will spare you from death," Gu Hai solemnly said. "You spare me from dying? Impossible. Ha ha ha, impossible," the fire locust god said in disbelief. "I, Gu Hai, I am a man of my word," Gu Hai solemnly said. The fire locust god stared at Gu Hai, as if he was trying to discern the rightness or wrongness of Gu Hai's words. "In fact, it may not be necessary to ask for your consent to force you, fire god. I have Gu Chen, so I can slowly force you, fire god. But now I'm giving you a chance. I won't kill you. I want the fire god, so that it will cooperate with me," Gu Hai solemnly said. The fire locust god stared at Gu Hai for a while before finally nodding. Good, fire god. Ha ha ha. I'll give it to you," Gu Hai nodded. The fire locust god's brow trembled slightly. Buzz! A wave of fiery red energy surged out of his body. As soon as the fire god came out, flames burst into the sky in all directions, and a group of officials were immediately forced to retreat by the fire. Once it came out, it instantly drilled into Gu Hai's body, who didn't resist and allowed it to enter his body. The moment the fire god entered Gu Hai's body, the fire locust god's face showed a grimace. "Ha ha ha ha, you destroyed my entire clan, and you still want my fire god? Gu Hai, you spared me from death. Do you think I'll believe that? The fire god has been inherited by my fire locust clan for nearly 20,000 years, so I'm just going to give it to you. You've killed my locust children and grandchildren, and you're going to kill me. Do you think I'll agree to that? Fire god, enter Gu Hai's body and burn him for me. Avenge me, and my locust sons and grandsons. Kill him, kill him." The fire locust god hissed with a hideous face. "Asshole, Mergu released you, yet you framed Gu Hai. Kill this bastard, kill him." The crowd of divine foothills, imperial dynasty officials, all showed great hatred, as they all shot out together to exterminate the fire locust god. Boom! A large number of heavy blows struck the fire locust god, and the fire locust god was instantly injured, looking like he was about to die. However, the eyes of the fire locust god kept staring at Gu Hai in death, hoping to see the scene of Gu Hai being burned by 10,000 flames before he died. Ang, 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 ang. Inside Gu Hai's body, 5 dragon chants came steeply, and 5 giant dragon silhouettes appeared steeply, blasting down the red light at Gu Hai's heart. Gu Hai didn't show a painful color, but coldly said, "Fire locust god, I gave you a chance. You don't know how to cherish it, burning me. Oh, your fire god is powerful, but do you really think it's invincible?" Gu Hai no longer paid any attention and turned his head towards a short distance away to sit on his knees. Where the heart was, the red light burned. The fire god's consciousness was still intact. Wanting to incinerate Gu Hai, however, within Gu Hai's body, there were 5 forces that were not weak to it, especially the power of the spirit mother, led by the purple dragon, and the power of the water system led by the blue dragon. Water overrides fire. Spirit mother suppressed everything. The 5 dragons suppressed it, instantly obliterating the fire god's consciousness and forcing the fire god to impact the place where his heart was. Boom! With a loud bang, the heart orifice was abruptly blasted open,